Hey guys, SK here, back with another Clash Royale video. Hope you guys are all doing well. In today's video, I'm once again back with SK's Xbow guide. This should be episode 4, I believe. So, we are back with 3.0 Xbow Cycle. If you guys are new to this series, essentially what I do is I just cover a bunch of nice replays that I have that I feel could help you improve as an Xbow player. I'll be breaking down all my gameplay, thought process, decisions, and all of that. If you guys are new to the channel, welcome. Happy to have you here. I basically make Xbow content, educational, insightful content, while also trying to be entertaining. So the last season wasn't the best season. Path of Legends, I did kind of give up. I kind of ruined my streak of, I think it was like 3 or 4, I think it was 3 top 1K finishes in a row. Like for the months, I believe I got a top 500 the month before, and then I got like my 358 right before that one, and I was just doing pretty well on ladder, got some ranked finishes in a row. But I was able to reach 2763 or so with 3.0 Xbow Cycle, and unfortunately I just kind of tilted, and so that was kind of tough. I mean, it was not a great meta. In all honesty, I was down to 2400, as you guys can see, like down from 2763, so minus 350 was not very motivating. But anyways, I was able to get some nice final games here, so yeah, I'll be showing you guys some of these games, and I also have one game on my other account where I did beat Royal Recruits. The new Evolution Royal Recruits is out, and I did beat that with 3.0 Xbow Cycle because I feel like people are going to be asking about that. So have quite a lot of content for you guys today, so if you guys do enjoy the video, please make sure to like and subscribe, and let's get right into the matches. I'm going to start with this one because, it's Electro Giant Balloon, and a pretty common trend in the meta is that everyone is using Evo Knight right now. Honestly, Evo Knight is pretty broken, so I can't really blame people for it, I guess, but it's obviously kind of annoying when you're playing Xbow because people have an Evo Knight just to tank. Now, I do see the E-Giant come down, and this is a common play, guys. After splitting archers, they go for something in the back. I usually do Xbow opposite lane if it's like somewhat expensive, or if I just have a decent hand. As you guys can see, there's no way I could have gotten punished for that Xbow. I am down a bit of elixir, but he's gonna have to respond to this knight plus 1 archer, and I now know more about his deck. I know he has an E-Giant. And also notice, guys, I didn't overcommit to that Xbow at all by like wasting a lot of elixir. Nothing crazy like Tesla the bridge, just making sure I kill the E-Giant, making sure I let the Xbow die, and that's pretty much how you want to play. So now I split archers again, and this was the benefit of going Xbow so early on, because he actually does not have E-Giant in Cycle, so I believe I just Xbow left. Yeah, because he goes Knight kind of out of Xbow range, actually, so yeah, that's going to be on tower. I do get a fireball off on the bomber plus balloon, and sadly balloon gets another hit, but in the meantime I do get 1000 tower damage, so really not too bad. And once again I'm down like 3 elixir, but I would say it's definitely worth it for the damage lead that I just got, because this kind of matchup is going to be so annoying, right? His E-Giant balloon, and so a big part of Xbow, especially against unfamiliar decks, is finding out what your opponent is running. And so, I was able to find out what he had by going for the early Xbow, seeing the E-Giant in there, seeing the bomber, goblins, and I actually have seen this, E-Giant balloon deck around a fair amount, believe it or not, to my horror as well. But it is relatively common, like at least as an E-Giant deck. I haven't really seen any other E-Giant versions, actually, so yeah. He does have an Evo Knight as well, which is obviously, as I said, going to be a pain. I just continue to split my archers, and I just Xbow after seeing the balloon. This is a similar trend to, the Golem one, where they go like 4 elixir card in the back. It means they can't get back to 8 elixir in time for a Golem if you play Xbow opposite. Same principle, because he goes balloon. Just very common basic elixir counting. When they go for a balloon in the back, he's at 5 in single elixir, and he won't get 2 elixir in time, so he won't get to 7 for the E-Giant. So I just punish with the Xbow opposite, and it's on tower, and then he goes for an E-Giant, so now he's going for an all-in push, which, I can respect. But if I am able to defend this, it looks very sketchy. I literally only have 4 elixir. He has an E-Giant, a Knight, and a balloon coming down, and I'm going to have to defend it with 4 elixir. So I guess since I'm paused, you guys can take like a minute and figure out how exactly you would play this defense out. Like with my hand and elixir, obviously I do have the Evo Knight ready, but going to have to kite the balloon and everything. So take a bit to think about it, and then I'll play, and you guys can see how I actually defended this and didn't lose my tower. So Tesla, obviously necessary, because I'm going to have to get something. And then I believe I get the fireball off on the balloon plus E-Giant, because that's also important. And then I log, and the Xbow's helping out as well, which is very important because I only take 1 balloon hit. If I took 2, it still would have been fine, honestly. I would have been alive. But if I took 3, I would have lost. So Anyways, though, obviously, guys, the key was the Tesla. You had to play a Tesla there, and then the Fireball, I think, because you just had to defend the balloon. Like, taking the E-Giant out is fine, but had to defend the balloon no matter what. And so here I go for a pre-Tesla, get my own Evo Knight to match his Evo Knight. He does NATO everything in, but honestly, Evo Knight is going to town on this E-Giant and doing a lot of work, and I'm back to a new pair of archers. So he can Fireball if he wants. I'm separating, notice guys, very common principle, separating your troops from your buildings, or just separating your troops from each other to prevent your opponent from getting spell value on everything together. He gets a nice bomber NATO. Well, actually, I don't even know if that got a splash or not, but you know, it was a nice attempt. Anyway, I just BM because honestly, I've been tilted like for so long, and I'm just happy to be done. Like, I stopped at 2,550. You know, I finished top 1.7k. I got some nice comments from you guys, so I appreciate you guys saying it was still a good finish. I wasn't that proud of it, honestly, because I obviously could have done much better, and I have many times, even the last month. But you know, I just thought the meta was so atrocious. I made a post about it as well. So yeah. Anyways, next match, guys, is going to be up against Goblin Giant Sparky Lightning, Arrows, Barb Barrel, Evo Knight. So this is a hard counter if I've ever seen one, because Lightning, Arrows, Barb Barrel is already, you know, like the 3 spells that you would want against Xbow. Lightning beats Xbow, beats Tesla. Arrows beats Archers. Barb Barrel beats Xbow. And you have the Evo Knight to tank if by some chance I outcycle both the Goblin Giant and the Lightning. Wait, does he have a Sparky? I actually didn't. I think he has a Sparky, right? But I'm not sure. Anyway, go for an Xbow opposite to the Mother Witch. He goes for a Knight opposite. Oh, he does have a Sparky. Okay, of course. And here's a nice Fireball that I take on the Knight plus Mother Witch. And I believe he actually does go for like a Barb Barrel, which I don't know what this was about, to be honest. Like, he should have just gone for a Lightning, I guess. But I get my Knight down, and sadly did not tank in time. But I am going to sack some damage here, guys, because I could go Ice Spirit, Archers, Log. But I realized, like, you know, I don't want to be down Elixir. So, you know, Elixir is very important in any match. And so you don't want to overcommit so early on and be down. I do just Ice Spirit to pressure because he has to respond to this Knight plus Ice Spirit. Otherwise, he's going to get like 2 or 3 hits, which he actually does. Hey, I have to go Hunter. I was going to say if you let it go, that would have been like 2 Knight hits minimum, which I would have gladly taken. But I do force the Hunter out, which is, you know, technically a 4 for 1 because I just went Ice Spirit, and it was like counter pushing with my Knight. Here I go for an Xbow opposite to the Sparky. I believe this is a pretty common play as well. It's a bit risky, but I honestly do stand by it, because you don't really want them to build up a huge push, and then you can just save your Knight for the Sparky. So I believe I catch this Barb Barrel. No, I don't. Yeah, because I was focused, as you guys can see, I was focused on getting my Knight down for the Sparky. So the Skeletons came down late because I wasn't ready to catch the Barb Barrel, which, to be fair, maybe I should have been ready for. But actually, I don't think I saw a Barb Barrel yet at this point in the match. Maybe I did, but anyways, he goes for Mother Witch again. I just take the Fireball. 4 for 4, just take the Fireball. It's like a Magic Archer. You Fireball it most of the time, so why not? And then things are looking pretty solid right now. Hunter in the back. I think I should match this with a Tesla. Okay, Ice Spirit to pressure first, and then Tesla. Yeah, that's fine. Just center Tesla. And now, I don't know if he has a Lightning or not, but I'm about to find out, because I believe he does go for a push pretty soon. But I just Xbow. Inner corner, notice, guys, gets tucked in, because I do want the Xbow to kite something over into this Tesla. Say he goes for Goblin Giant on the Xbow. It'll get kited over towards my Tesla, and I do split my Archers as well. Ice Spirit, I do catch the Barb Barrel, very nice, but I'm going to have to go back to a second Tesla for this Goblin Giant, and thankfully the Evo Knight does a great job at tanking for the Sparky. Gonna have to get back to a second Knight though, Log and even Fireball for this Mother Witch. He feeds me a brilliant Fireball with that Knight as well. If he didn't go for that Knight, I would have been in a bad spot still, but he fed me like so much Fireball value there. That was crazy. That was a beautiful Fireball. And here I just pressure opposite, because you can't let them build up a big push, especially when he's playing a deck like Lightning, Arrows, where he can just spell you out. You just cannot afford to let them get away with anything. Anyway, I go for the Knight Tesla. I let the Hunter take my Xbow out, because you can't really kill a Hunter on your Xbow without going for either a Fireball or a Knight to block. And there's no way I was going for a Knight to block when I needed Knight to defend. So anyway, I don't know why he feeds me a free Mother Witch, because I'm going for that lane anyways. You know, you don't want to go same lane as your opponent when they have a Lightning or a big spell. So he gives me a free Fireball. I just take it. And I go for the Xbow right now because I have my Evo Knight in Cycle. I do get a tiny lock, but he does go for the Barb Barrel Lightning, which is obviously going to full counter. And here I just pressure quite a bit. And this is a very nice play, guys, because he actually does not have anything great in Cycle. If you take a look at this, he had to go for, say, Arrows here, then he would have had to go Hunter, which I think Evo Knight would have 1v1, to be honest. Or maybe not, but it would have been close anyways, and probably would have stayed alive. So because he has no Barb Barrel, especially in Cycle here, he can't really kill this, and so I'd get so much nice pressure off. He kites with the Goblin Giant, which is a good play, But this archer goes crazy, and so we really should have gone arrows because he takes like, what, 500 damage from that one archer punish, which is just amazing. And at that point, it's pretty much over. Like, I've just been punishing very well. Haven't been letting him breathe, honestly. I go for an Xbow again, even though I'm down elixir, just because I want him to respond to the Xbow and not really build up a big push with his Sparky. Again, Hunter comes down, which I respect. Hunter's like a card that I respect, especially if the Xbow's not on the Hunter. If it's on the Hunter, it's a different story, but if it's like not on the Hunter, then you kind of have to let it die. Because again, you can't really kill it without overcommitting. So Knight comes down, and thankfully the Sparky's actually on the Tesla, which is actually good for me, honestly, because he was like kind of like going for a lightning anyways, I guess, and Tesla was dead. So I take that. I go for an Xbow because I have decent pressure. Plus, he just wasted his lightning, so I can go this lane. Plus, he actually got a lot of damage in the left, so I actually want to pressure opposite so he can't lightning. In the left, I go for a log. If he didn't get the Goblin Giant down in time, that would have been a lock. So you always want to catch them on their toes, keep them on their feet, rather, and make sure they're playing aggro. I go for another Xbow to pressure. Ice Spirit does freeze, I believe. Beautiful Ice Spirit. I get the skeletons to catch this bar barrel. I'm pretty good at catching them. And then Sparky is going to blow everything up, but the damage is done, you know. I just wanted to pressure. He gets a lightning off, which is fine. I'm back to new Knight. I'm back to a log for these spear goblins, which I don't actually need. I just fireball tower, and then I just Tesla to make sure that the Sparky doesn't, like, I don't choke. I noticed I never really went for a skeleton surround on the Sparky because I feel like it's too predictable anyways. But yeah, that was pretty much a picture-perfect game against Goblin Giant Sparky, guys. My opponent did play kind of weird. He gave me a big lock in the right early on, but that didn't even matter because I got all my damage in the left. And I don't know why he's so mad. He literally has a great matchup, but you know what? I take it. Like, if he's going to give me that, I'll take it. And so next up, guys, we have this one, which is, I feel like this is a really good video because these are like all matchups that are important. This one is such a tough one. Where did this guy finish? Okay, let me see where everyone finished real quick. Okay, what? 1-7. Oh my god, that was at 2,500. Did he really tilt 800? I thought my tilt was bad. E-Giant guy did not get... Wow, so I actually finished higher than all these guys. Yeah, this one is really tough, guys, because it's Graveyard Skeleton King with Evo Barbs and Arrows Fireball Inferno Dragon. So this is, in my opinion, an ultra-hard counter. I guess Barbs help compared to Cannon Cart, but still a terrible matchup, honestly. So I want to show you guys exactly how I was able to beat this, because this is one of my most hated matchups with this deck, honestly. Like, I really feel this is a difficult matchup, and so I think it's an important one to show you guys how I was able to beat, because I think I had him on the defensive, like, the entire time. And so, again, yeah, this is just an important one for you guys. So, Knight to match a Skeleton King. Skeleton King doesn't really tell me anything. It could be any deck at this point. After seeing the Idrag, I'm like, oh no. It's probably that Graveyard deck, although it could be some weird, like, Lava Miner with Skeleton King Idrag, but most likely it is that Graveyard deck, because Skeleton King Idrag, there aren't really any other decks that run that, and after seeing Zappies, it confirms it. Like, this is a pretty common Graveyard deck. I've seen it a lot, especially in competitive as well, so, like, you know, it's common. Those are bad skeletons, I think, but it's fine. I just Ice Spirit for... Actually, don't Ice Spirit. I just Xbow right away, and this is actually important. I go for the Knight as well to predict, because you actually do have to get a lock-in single, at least try to in this match, in my opinion. It's such a bad matchup, so that's just why I tried. Does he really go for Barbs right here? I don't think so, right? Because he's hovering Barbs right now. I don't think he does, though, but he goes for the ability. Really bad ability, because as you guys can see, ability is super bad against Xbow. We just go for Fireball, which is well played. I do want to Xbow, but I do actually Xbow. Okay, he should have gone Zappies. He would have gotten much more out of that. Because I was going to say, maybe I could have waited till 10 to go Xbow, because then I could have fireballed the Barbs, or the Zappies rather, but he just went Idrag anyways. This is a nice play against Idrag, guys. You want to cut it back with a Knight. If you don't have archers in cycle, or you don't want to waste them, say you're in this position where you're against a Graveyard matchup, then that's what you want to do. Although I did get my Knight down a bit late, or a bit early rather, because the Idrag... Like, I got some nice Evo Knight hits there, actually. Like, that's a lot of damage, and that was really good pressure by me to set up for that situation. But if the Idrag was dead, that would have been even more damage if he didn't respond. So, you know, probably should have done that. But nice Ice Spirit here, just, you know, defends, or forces more defense out, forces a Tombstone out, -2 for him. I don't know if this was a good Tesla or not, because I do feed his Skeleton King ability. But honestly, it's not really a big deal. I can just log. And notice I'm actually clipping the tower with most of my logs. I do miss some skeletons, but they're going to get taken out anyway, so it's fine. Another big thing, guys. Notice I have not allowed him to go for a Graveyard ever so far. Like, not at all. So I'm just pressuring very well. I believe I'm about to Xbow again right now. Yeah, I do. Before I saw the Idrag, though, because if I saw the Idrag, I probably wouldn't have gone Xbow same lane. It's not really a great play. But, you know, just keep pressuring. And a huge thing in this matchup, guys, Teslas, because they can't really kill your Tesla. They have fireball arrows, which, you know, he wants the fireball for the Xbow, for the Tesla sometimes, I guess. He wants the arrows for the archers for the most part, so a Tesla that's kept alive will get so much value, and they actually can't really kill it without using spells, if you protect it. So that's what I'm going for. I go for a log. Again, clipping the tower with my log. Tombstone comes down, that's fine, and he still has to respond. He does go for the Skeleton King, and then again, arrows for the archer. So unfortunate he has just a free counter. But I'm just forcing out the arrows every time, and it's honestly going really well. And again, I go for a second Tesla, and then skeletons. And once again, I'm about to Xbow, I think. So I'm just unrelenting with the pressure. He goes for the Evo Barbs, finally. He has Evo Barbs, he just waited till now to use them. And I was not ready for this eye drag, actually. I do go for the Ice Spirit, though. Very nice reset. And as you guys can see, this is the Xbow inwards placement hugging the Tesla, because I did want it to help out against an eye drag in a situation like that. So very nice. And I still pressure into the Skeleton King. I feel like this one's a bit questionable, although I guess I wanted to keep him on the defensive the whole time. He does go for the fireball, you know, free fireball on my tower, which is fair enough. But yeah, I'm still just keeping him on the defensive. You know, he really can't do anything here. I'm one off an Xbow, and I believe I just go for it, even though he goes for the eye drag again. Like, I really don't care. This time I have an Evo Knight, so I'm fine. I go archers, and Ice Spirit gets clipped, but I believe I fireball that as well, and if he didn't get the Skeleton King down, that would have been a lock. Notice, guys, I'm always going for these, like, last-second catching off-guard plays, where if they didn't get something down preemptively, I would have gotten a lock, so I'm just always keeping them on their toes, always making sure they have to be dialed in, because if not, they're going to get punished big time. Eye drag is, like, half HP, so it's a bit annoying, but I just go archers, and I'm forcing out the arrows early. He still has not gone for a single graveyard, by the way, I don't think, so, you know, I'm just doing a really good job at keeping him, like, unable to go graveyards. Here I go for the archers for the graveyard, and he's busy defending the Xbow, so he can't actually go for arrows right away. And then he finally does get the arrows, but I have such a nice setup on the board. Look at this guy's beautiful double Tesla, double Xbow, and I just fireball log tower, and that is going to be it. Like, that was pretty much a picture perfect game against this matchup. I say thanks, honestly, because I just hate this matchup so much, and I was really happy to just beat it, because that's so frustrating. This one I don't need to show you guys. He has Barbs instead of Knight. That's a really bad matchup for him, I think. This one's an important one. Another Sparky. Let's see where this guy finished, but this is a very important one, guys, because this deck is literally everywhere. Like, people were saying Sparky was one of the best decks in the entire game last meta, because it's just everywhere. So this matchup's also very important to know, I feel. Goblin Giant Sparky with the Knight and the Fireball is very common. I think they have Fireball for Evo Barbs. And again, literally everyone is using Evo Knight. Like, this guy already has a mini tank in a way, you know, or I guess mini P.E.K.K.A. doesn't really count as a mini tank, but it's like the same role as a Knight. Like, he wouldn't have both a Knight and a mini P.E.K.K.A. in a deck. But just by virtue of how strong Evo Knight is, this guy does literally have both in the same deck, so kind of crazy. Anyway, I just go for archers early for these minions, and then after seeing the mini P.E.K.K.A. minions, it's pretty obvious going to be Sparky. He does go for the Sparky opposite. I just decide to Xbow in the right. And notice the inwards placement, guys, because it is pretty important. You don't want to go all in on your Xbow and tower trade. You want your Xbow to help out on defense if it can. So I actually do go for that as well. I believe I skeletons for this Knight. Yep, and he goes for the Goblin Giant. And I do actually Knight for the Goblin Giant, which is a bit sus because I'm not sure how to defend this. So normally, guys, I would always advise you to go for a Knight, like save a Knight for the Sparky, but honestly I didn't really have any way of defending that Goblin Giant otherwise. Like, I could stack archers, I guess. Actually, with this hand I didn't. I had to go like Tesla. Then it would have been a bit awkward. So I could have gone Tesla, honestly, but I decided to just do this instead. So Knight, and then a bit of creativity involved. I split my archers, one for the Goblin Giant, one for the Sparky. Then I'll be able to cycle back to my Ice Spirit after playing archers to distract the Sparky and protect my archer in the left to fully defend the Sparky and finish it off. So you also have to think a bit ahead in the future, guys, like how you're going to defend based on your cycle in the future. So again, split archers, Ice Spirit to tank, and then the Sparky is on the archer, so that was pretty much a perfect defense. As you guys can see, no damage in either lane, and still get a counter push out of it with the Knight plus one archer. So honestly, perfect ending to that little sequence. And then I can actually just Xbow, because yeah, he does go for a mini P.E.K.K.A. and then just Xbow because I can. Plus I actually just let this mini P.E.K.K.A. go. Alright, I don't let it go, actually I just go for the skeletons, but yeah, I do get a tiny lock, I guess. I was thinking I could let it go and then like fireball the minions. And here Evo Knight, probably a misplay, honestly, because I forgot he had an Evo Knight. Like, you're not supposed to have Evo Knight, or Knight, I guess, in a Sparky deck, right? So that was kind of unexpected, but of course, Knight does 1v1 it, and terrible zap on his end, absolutely unnecessary. Not sure why he went for that, but I am gladly going to take it, because it just puts me up 2 elixir for free. Like, not really complaining about that. But, yeah, still a decent lead. And this is still kind of an annoying position, though, because honestly, he's one off Evo Knight himself now. I just used mine, so I'm not sure how I'm going to defend this, really. But he goes for a Goblin Giant at the back. Same time I Xbowed in the left. I was expecting him to maybe go, like, Sparky or something in the back, so that's why I went Xbow, like, to predict. But he does go same lane, which is honestly fine. He has to Fireball. Honestly, well played Fireball, like, good value on his end, but still, you know, I'm pressuring lightly and making sure the Goblin Giant does not get anywhere near my tower, so that's still a nice defense. And then I believe I cycle back to an Xbow on the right. Yeah, and he has to go for an Evo Knight here. So, he does Evo Knight, and then he gets the Goblin Giant down for the Xbow, I believe. Or no, he goes all in. So this is going to be a tricky defense, guys, but the main key is to focus on not defending the Xbow at all. Say he goes minions, you don't want to go archers, you want to full defend this push, because this is so much value. This is 12, and then 5, or 15 rather, with the Evo Knight, but Evo Knight's worth more than 3, so honestly you have to full defend. So I Knight, I stack archers. Again, same principle. Archers are separated far away from the center defense of the Tesla plus Knight, so you can't get full value. And I go skeletons for the mini P.E.K.K.A. That doesn't really count in my opinion. Like, cycle cards are totally fine. I'm talking about, like, you know, not going for a Knight or archers on the Xbow. And so archers are putting in work in Sparky as well. I do have to log this back as he goes for a prediction zap, so should have zapped tower, I guess, but still. Xbow does predict the Sparky correctly this time, so I go Knight to predict the Goblin Giant, archers to DPS, the Knight super fast, and now he's in a bit of a tricky spot. I fireball the mini P.E.K.K.A. because he does not have enough for Goblin Giant in time. He actually should not have done that. He probably should have gone Goblin Giant right now, because mini P.E.K.K.A. honestly gave me a free fireball. So this is a common play, guys. Yeah, that Knight would have tanked, so we had to go like Goblin Giant low. But a common play, guys, if you're playing Xbow, you think you're about to get a lock or have very good pressure, especially if they're low in elixir, you can just fireball tower plus support, even if it's like something weird like a Prince, a mini P.E.K.K.A, a Valk, because the Evo Knight is going to DPS it down super fast, and I'm going to get a lock as a result of this fireball. If I didn't fireball, he might have been able to Goblin Giant in time, but instead, I do get a lock, very beautiful lock, and Evo Knight gets like 2 hits in there. That tower is getting shredded, and that is GG. That was a beautiful punish, and there's nothing he can do. Again, I go for the Tesla skeletons for the Sparky. No simple skeletons round because that's risky. If he goes for a zap or a rage, I'd take a Sparky shot to the tower, which I just don't really want to take, honestly, so I don't really risk it. Knight archer stacked, and I log as well. I'm always like low-key spell cycling too, just log cycle. And then defensive Xbow now because I don't really know what else to do, to be honest, and he is like going in the right for some reason, I don't know why. And then mains in the left, like he's kind of going split lane pressure, I guess, but not really sure what that's about. Anyways, I just Tesla the middle, Ice Spirit to cut these minions over, and then do I fireball the Goblin Giant? Honestly, that's a play I would make. Okay, I don't. It's probably good that I didn't, I guess. Just second defense Xbow is stacked, but honestly, you can sometimes like fireball a Royal Giant, I guess, or Goblin Giant. I actually don't really fireball Goblin Giants, but in that position, I feel like it would have been a fine play. Anyways, we get the Xbow on the second Sparky. Tesla, he does go for a zap, so I believe I have to fireball the Sparky now. I actually don't really need to until he goes for this, then I do, because that's like so much value. Like, why not, right? Wait, do I? Oh, I still don't. Okay, now I should, right, because the minions. Yeah, okay, finally. Only fireballed it like 30 seconds after I said I would. But now he's mad, and he really can't do anything again. Anti-fireball placement on this defensive Xbow, always about the optimal placements. Goes for the Goblin Giant in front. Just, you can tell he's being so aggressive and so impatient, which is exactly where you want them when you're playing Xbow. Like, if they're playing like this, you know you have them because they're just so desperate to get a lock. But, yeah, like, I just take the fireball, take the log, and I think I get back to a second fireball in time, or I think actually the Knight just takes the tower for me. No, he doesn't, but the fireball does, so really nice win. I feel like the top level players won't play as bad as that, but, you know, this was about 2,500, 2,400 medals, so, like, people in your guys' range, like, wherever you are, will probably play similar. Anyway, some tough losses along the way. Okay, I have 2 more games I'll show you guys from these. I lost to E-Giant 2, that was so annoying. But I'll show you guys this Lava one, and then I'll show you guys this Goblin Giant one, because this one's really annoying. Like, I feel like this is definitely his matchup. And then I'll show you guys the Recruits game to end the video off, so. Getting into this one against Leo. When I saw Leo at first, I was like, oh no, Leo Vargas, Goblin Giant, or not Goblin Giant, Logbait, Rascals, Cannon Cart, but thankfully it wasn't. Also, I think Goblin Giant is so popular because it did get that nice HP buff. So in addition to being good in the meta, like, Sparky beats Evo Knight pretty well. That's what my friends told me, like top ladder friends. Goblin Giant also got a nice buff, so, you know, just doing pretty well. Anyway, Knight in front of the one archer, just to force a little situation. I fireball the... No, I don't fireball, actually. Honestly, in this position, I feel like fireballing the skeleton dragons would have been a good play, because, I mean... Well, I guess the Knight plus one archer will defend most of them, but it would have forced out probably barbs, to be honest, or like minor zap. Still would have been awkward either way, but I do get a nice lock, and I get the skeletons down late. So unfortunate, but it's fine. Gonna have to go for archers for this eye drag now, I think. Or actually, I don't. I think just... Yeah, I do go archers actually just in case. I didn't actually know what his full deck was, so, you know, in case it was, like, balloon freeze or whatever, I decided to do that. Anyway, this is about cycle fixing, guys, because... I do this quite a lot against lava, and I will say, like, you guys should take my advice for lava matchups, because this is one of my best matchups. Like, I win this, like, 90% of the time, but notice I don't have Xbow Cycle. He wants a lava the back. He's totally fine to just ignore these archers, go lava the back. I won't have archers in cycle. I'll be down elixir. I won't have Xbow Cycle. I'll just be screwed. I won't have anything to play. So instead, I just fix my cycle by going Knight in front of the archers and suddenly making this a very menacing push. And now he has to go barbs, which he does not want to do, I'm sure. Because he was ready to go lava with his elixir advantage, but instead, you know, I got a really nice little punish, and doing pretty well. He is up elixir, don't get me wrong, but his cycle is not what he wanted anymore. He doesn't have the barbs. I have my Xbow for his lava. He goes lava. Doesn't matter if I'm down 2. What I always tell you guys, the macro play against lava the back is Xbow same lane. And so that's what I do right here. Xbow same lane. Xbow starts taking away at the tower. I notice I'm hovering the fireball because I know he has skeleton dragons in hand. As he goes for them, I instantly fireball. Nice reaction time. Only taking 1 skeleton dragon belch, I believe. And that should be tower down. I think if he doesn't go for a spell, that should take his tower. Or at least put it in log range. Okay, pretty much. Now we're going to have to defend this. I actually don't think I defend this because I feel like... Yeah, I feel like this is not possible to defend, especially with how much elixir I'm down. So instead, guys, I go for this really nice play. Look at this. So I recognize, you know, looking at this. Okay, I know he's already down elixir. Look at the board right now. He has a full lava hound. I have an Xbow, but let's ignore the Xbow. He has a full lava hound, and I'm still down 2, and I know that. So I know, okay, I'm not going to defend this. Especially because he shoves his balloon in a very well, like, placed area, like, behind the lava. So I realize, okay, I'm not going to defend this. I'll just go archers to DPS down the balloon and hopefully keep my tower alive. He overcommits with the miner itself was enough, but he goes for the arrows too. He actually does not have enough elixir for anything, so I go for this nice little play, guys. Little distraction, Evo Knight plus skeletons, he zaps, and that's going to be tower down because Evo Knight is so broken. Like, look at it go. Just a beautiful punish, and there's really nothing he can do, to be honest. Like, that's just tower down, and then even he is surprised. I think he gives a wow right now, or at the end he does. I take the tower with the Ice Spirit. This is going to be the easiest defense of my life because all I have to do is defend a single lane lava push when I have my king activated. Like, that's essentially what this is, so there is no concern here whatsoever, like, at all. So I go for the Tesla, pre-Tesla, Ice Spirit for the eye drag. I believe this is a nice fireball I take, or maybe not right away, but on the eye drag plus skelly drags. Knight to catch the miner does miss, unfortunately, but okay, lava's about to die. Now I get a free fireball, like beautiful fireball on everything. Second lava's back, but second Tesla is back to match. And he's just in a world of hurt. He has no arrows in cycle. He goes barbs. I just have to cycle back to my fireball. And notice, guys, when you're cycling, you don't go for stuff like Knight or Archers when you want to cycle. Like, he goes Evo Barbs in the pocket. My instant thought process is, okay, Fireball. So what I have to do, I have to cycle to my Fireball. Fireball's nowhere in hand. I have to go Ice Spirit, Log, Skeletons. That's only 4 elixir. It's going to advance my cycle 3 cards. Exactly what I do. Skeletons. Hold it in place. Boom, Fireball. Beautiful Fireball on everything. And since I cycled so fast, I'm already back to another Tesla as well for this balloon. He gives the wow because he's just not sure how to react, I guess. And I'm just like, okay, good game. Like, that's a good matchup. Or at least he gives a well played too. Like, honestly, it was. But I wouldn't say that's like a good matchup, I guess, because he has Evo Barbs. But that is one of my best matchups, I'd say. Like, I know what to do in that situation. Anyways, wait, let's see where Leo finished. Okay, oh, we've got a top 1K. Good on him. 2.9K. Congrats. And then this guy did not. Goblin Giant, though, double prince, guys. Like, this matchup is kind of annoying. But especially with the Evo Knight, I feel like it's really annoying because, I mean, Evo Knight. And already, like, he has the fireball arrows. It's such a pain to defend because they can just spell, like, you out, like, fireball. I guess fireball's a bit awkward, but arrows is such a pain. And so this is going to be tricky. So I want to show you guys this match because I was pretty proud of this one, actually. Like, I actually usually lose to this against good players sometimes. Like, I've started choking this matchup, so I'm pretty proud of this one myself. Anyways, Knight to match his Knight. And I'm like, okay, he has Knight and Goblin Gang and Bats. Okay, after seeing Bats, I'm like, okay, it's not Logbait anymore. Could be Mortar, or it could be this, like, I guess it was this deck. After seeing the Prince, though, I did guess it was this deck, because, like, Prince, right? It was for the Goblin Giant, so, okay, fair enough. Like, still worth it to go Xbow opposite, in my opinion, just to find out what he had. And then I just go Skeletons, get this Prince into the Tesla. Pretty common trend as well. And I believe I have to Knight, yep, because the Tesla's dead. And just don't want to take any damage, so, you know, unscathed towers. I don't know why he's hovering arrows. Not sure what that's about. He should go, like, gang on this Knight, I would say. But I'm pretty upset because, you know, I don't like this matchup. Especially after seeing an Evo Knight in there. And it's crazy because this used to be a really good matchup for Xbow, I would say. Just got more annoying, though. But I log on the left and I take the damage on the right. Could have gone Ice Spirit, but I know I'm down Elixir. And anyways, I decide to just take it so I can go opposite lane to him. Now I know I have him in a pretty bad spot, though, because his cycle is pretty awkward. Like, I outcycle the Goblin Giant big time. Let's go for a Prince, which he does get down, but I go for the Archers and the Skeletons. He does go for nice arrows, but I'm back to my Evo Knight. Evo Knight does miss the Knight, unfortunately, but Evo Knight's still going to be a pretty good counter push. Although I'm already down 1k, honestly. All you have to do is go Bats on this. Notice I was ready to fireball the Bats. So actually, I guess Gang was a better play. But okay, since he went Gang plus Bats, I recognize, okay, he's down so much Elixir right now. He has to get punished, right? Because he literally spent his entire Elixir bar. He's at like 1, which he was. I was up like 4, so that was a good Elixir counting play by me. But Evo Knight does just bail him out, sadly. So, you know, Evo Knight comes down. Nothing I can really do. But there's a trick I can do, which is kite this out of range. That's exactly what I do. Kite out of range, boom, Xbow lock. He has to go for arrows on the Xbow so I can stack my archers in the left. Notice that. He had to go for that, so nice play. This is where the tide and momentum started changing into my favor because I'm just outplaying him and getting nice trades. Xbow again. As he goes for a gang instead of a Goblin Giant, I don't know what that was about. Then he goes for a low Goblin Giant. Like, I don't know what that was about. Just go, like, Goblin Giant at the bridge. I did not actually have anything. I guess he thought I had something, but I had nothing. So, really not sure what that was about. But anyways, Knight to protect the Tesla, of course. And now I'm in a pretty good spot. I have a Tesla alive that I'm about to go Xbow with. I have the Xbow coming down right about now. Inwards placement again, tucked in next to the Tesla. And then I'm feeling pretty good about this position, especially because I do have an Evo Knight next step in hand. So, he does Goblin Giant in time. I do get my Evo Knight. I think I let this Xbow die. Yeah, I let it die. Like, I go Evo Knight. Well, I guess it doesn't count as letting it die. But, I mean, I basically let it die. Just Evo Knight. And now I'm about to outcycle his Goblin Giant again. So this is going to be another good Xbow, I think. Because I stack archers. He does not have arrows in cycle. Then I Xbow right away. As he goes Knight opposite, like, really bad play. I believe I fireball this Dark Prince. Very good fireball. Same principle if you guys saw that game against the other Sparky one where I fireballed the mini P.E.K.K.A. Because, as I said, if they have a bad cycle or they're low in elixir, this kind of fireball can really catch them off guard and really get them. And I guess his main mistake here was going Knight in the right, because now he has to go Dark Prince, and he, like, arrows on my archers, which means he doesn't have enough for anything. He gets the gang down late. As soon as I see the lock, guys, I'm like, okay, I have to hold this lock because he can only fireball. If he plays any troops, I have to block them, so I Knight instantly. I log the gang pretty much instantly, or not instantly, but, like, once a bit more time passes. I Ice Spirit to hold this Goblin Giant as well, just to make sure I get even more of a lock. Then I'm like, okay, I have to defend now. But the damage is done, you know, that's 2 logs and a fireball, or just 2 fireballs, so I'm chilling. And I think I just go for the first fireball, do I? Or, no, I Knight first. And then I fireball, maybe? Or then I log? Do I? Yeah, I log. Okay, so log and 2 logs and a fireball is what I went for. And Ice Spirit, because if he lets the Ice Spirit go, that's actually going to be tower down. And I cycle. And that's going to be GG, guys. I say thanks. He gives a good game. He was actually a good sport, so I think I felt kind of bad, but I was just tilted. Like, man, I was so tilted in this range. It was kind of frustrating, but I was able to get the job done, so really nice stuff. I also lost to this lava. This lava, I think, losing... Wait, let me just take a look, guys, because I feel like this lava loss was very close. And I do remember this one pretty distinctly, I think. Let's see. Yeah, I took the tower on the left. Okay, can't really defend this that easily. Although I do defend this, like, pretty good defense, honestly, all things considered. Like, it could have been worse. I'm alive. Okay, never mind. I'm down, like, 7, actually. So I Xbow. I do get a nice lock, actually. So what happened? And I actually still try and, like, stay alive. Okay, I sack tower. Now we're in a good spot. Xbow. I believe I just barely lost by, like, the skin of my teeth here. Okay, that was not the best fireball, actually. Xbow, Knight, Ice Spirit. Okay, like, tower is so close to being taken, but... Did I just, like, mess up on micro? Oh, I think I... Oh, yeah, that was a really bad fireball, actually. I missed both those dragons. That lost me the game, actually. I should have fireballed both of those. I think I still stayed alive, but if I actually hit those, like, I would not have had to overcommit so much here. And then it became like a spell cycle race at the end. I get my log down in time, and right as I'm getting my fireball down, he gets like a baby dragon splash, I think. So, like, honestly, I should just play this one better. I thought he would miner, so I went archers the back, but little did I know he would baby dragon like that. So that baby dragon belch just ended my career. I was mad, as you guys can see. I was really mad. I was tilting. So, yeah, anyways, lesson learned. I guess just play better micro. But now let's get on to the final match of the video, guys. Hope you guys have been enjoying as well, guys. I do enjoy this quite a lot because it's not like scripted. It's no expectations. I'm just like going in and doing my thing. Also did reach Champion League, so you guys can expect a Grand Champion ladder push pretty soon. But as you guys can see, I've been playing on SK555. I took some losses against recruits because Evo recruits are kind of crazy, to be honest. And this one, I should not have lost this actually, but that was annoying. Like Evo recruits with E-Golem Earthquake. But this is the one I wanted to show you guys, because this is like a very meta Evo Recruits deck, and he has Fireball, Arrows, Barb Barrel, like the worst possible matchup actually. So, you know, this was one I was pretty proud of, to be honest. And so I'll just show you guys this one to close the video out. So Split Archer's first play, I believe he goes Flying Machine, and then I Expo in the right rather. Yeah, because as soon as I see the Flying Machine, I think, okay, could be Recruits, could be Lava. I'm just gonna Expo and see what happens. I log right away. Good log timing, as you guys can see, clipping the shields, Knight for the Flying Machine, and then Skeleton's Ice Spirit to kite these recruits over as well. Actually, no, Skeleton's tank for the Barbell. I think this is a better play, because the Expo will help out against those recruits anyway, so I think that was worth it. I do get a baby Expo lock as well, and maybe one Knight hit if I'm lucky. And I do, very nice. So I'm up like 500 already, which is, you know, really not bad. Although, in this matchup, it doesn't mean anything, because he has Evo recruits, he has Royal Hogs, Fireball Arrows, like Barbell for the Expos. Like, I'm going to need a huge lead. And so right now I split archers again, hoping for something in the back, as I do get the Zappies. I Expo again. This time I wait till I'm at 9. Very important, guys. Notice I'm hovering the Fireball as well, because I knew if he goes Pigs onto the Expo, I'm going to need to have a Fireball for it. So I just get ready. And Expo does actually, he goes for a good play, actually, like low Pigs. Smart play, honestly, because like it just splits everything up. And like it kind of forces my attention in both lanes. I was not ready. I should have gone like Skeleton instead of Ice Spirit, I guess, because my Ice Spirit just died. But I did catch the Barb Barrel. But I mean, well played on his end, like pressuring both lanes, because, you know, I took a lot of, like, I had a great opportunity. Anyway, I see the Goblin Cage come down, and this is a very good, very important play, guys, because after this trade, I know we're like even on damage, right? Even on Elixir, rather. If I was him, I probably would have let this Knight go. But instead, he goes Cage, and so I instantly recognize, okay, Cage low on Elixir, I'm going Expo, and he can't afford his recruits in time. He does get the Zappies down, I think, though. Bad placement, honestly. But I do go Archers to DPS, which is very nice. They're DPSing well. I do get another baby Expo lock, I think. I should have logged that Zappy, actually. That was definitely worth it. But, okay, actually, I do just maintain my lead by going for this even. I think that's what won me the game, actually. Never mind about logging that Zappy. What I did was even better. So I went Archers to DPS the Zappies. He does go for Arrow, so again, I know he's super low on Elixir. He's at 0. I know his hand as well. And I know he can't really go. He doesn't have Zappies, doesn't have Cage, doesn't have Barb Barrel. So what he does have is Pigs, Recruits, Fireball, Flying Machine, and as you guys can see, that's just pretty much tower down, because it's going to be a lot of damage. Like, Knight basically takes tower. His tower's down to 117. And so that's pretty much GG at this point, because I just punished very nicely. Sadly, I missed the Fireball, but I still get a Tesla down late. And now you guys are going to get to see the Evo recruits in action, because he is finally going to get to play them. So let's see. This is one of my first, like, few matches against Evo recruits too. There they are. Very scary. I log them off, and they start charging, I think. Like, after the shield dies, they start charging, so it's pretty annoying. But I just go for a Fireball and everything, and he gives me a free Fireball on the Zappies plus Recruits, so I take that. Then the Recruits on the left, I'm fine to just stack my Archers against, because number one, actually, an Evo Recruit charge does not kill an Archer in one shot, which is very nice. Number two, I want him to go Arrows in the lane he doesn't want to go for it, which is the left lane, because I actually really don't mind that. Also, my dog just jumped onto my bed, so got distracted for a second. But yeah, game is pretty much over, though. This was a great win, guys. Great punish, and pretty much punished him big time in single. And that's what you have to do against some of these matchups. So honestly, that was a great win. And that is going to be it for the video, guys. Pretty much nice win against Recruits. I have more matches, but honestly this 40-minute video getting pretty long anyways. I'll hopefully do another ladder push pretty soon for you guys, and maybe get some Betfist gameplay, because I did record some from last season. He was pretty high up with 3.0 at some point, although he tilted a bit at the end and switched decks. But yeah, anyways, that's going to be for you guys. Hope you enjoyed the educational SK's Xbow guide. As always, this is a series that I never plan to stop. It's going to be something I do every once in a while, so hopefully you guys do enjoy it. It's pretty fun. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I will see you in the next one.